For my meal prep this week, I'm going to make a Mexican quinoa. It's one of my favorite dishes. Normally I use green chili, a can of green chilies in it, but this particular recipe called for jalapeno, so I cut up some jalapeno for it, and it'll be just as good, I'm sure. Also, it calls for a can of diced tomatoes, which I did not have, but I always freeze cherry tomatoes, or let's see, cherry tomatoes or whatever, the little tomatoes. I always keep these in my freezer. There's several recipes I use them for, but if I want fresh tomatoes for something, and I don't always have fresh tomatoes, especially in the winter, then I've got these that I use. So I'm using these instead of the diced tomatoes. And that's it. I'm trying to use up things in my freezer. And so I pulled out corn and avocado and tomatoes. And you know you can freeze avocados. They freeze lovely. They freeze really good for avocado toast or guacamole, all that. So I find I buy avocados, and if I don't use them up quick enough, they go bad. So I use what I want for a particular item I'm making, and I throw the rest in a container in the freezer. Now I've decided to make this in a rice cooker because that's what I'm planning on taking on my road trip. Normally I make it in a skillet, so I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but you know, it's all about experimentation, so that's what we're doing today. This thing is high pitch when it doesn't have weight on it, so I apologize in advance if we have any of that, but you have to have enough weight. This one doesn't have a saute like an Instant Pot would have a saute button. This one doesn't. It's just very, very basic. But I am sauteing some onions, half a teaspoon of cumin, and a full teaspoon of chili powder, onion, and the jalapeno. That is in there sauteing. So I'm going to lift the lid, and I hope it doesn't scream at us. It is a high-pitched scream. Ta-da! It didn't. All right, so those are sauteed. There is our... So it calls for a cup of onion. Oh my goodness. Let's do some bloopers. I need to start adding bloopers. A cup of corn. You know, it sounds so similar to onion, corn, onion. I can see how I messed that up. All right. And the tomatoes, which are frozen. We'll see how that goes. A cup of quinoa, which you always want to rinse that. And a can of black beans. I really love this dish, and it's super easy to throw it together. And then some vegetable broth. And I like to use better than bouillon. I'm going to add I added a little bit more water, so I'm going to add a little bit more bouillon. And we're going to see how this turns out. Like I said, I've always done it in a skillet, not an Instant Pot, but I'm hopeful because I'm impressed with some of the meals I've made, full meals in this, and some items like the salmon have been frozen to start with, so I'm hopeful. Put the lid on it. Sometimes you have to press it more than once. When I did the quinoa, rice, vegetables, and frozen salmon, it only took one cycle, but this may take 2 cycles. We'll see. So stay tuned. Part 2, the Mexican quinoa I made. I'm in this weird position because my cord for this rice cooker is not very long. So that's why I'm in this weird position. But we're going to check this out together. Let's see how it turned out. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness. Wow. You know, it worked out perfect. Can you see this? I'm going to taste to make sure the... made it just like it would in the skillet. Okay. Do you want a bite? That is so good. So good. Quinoa in one serving, which is a 4th cup. It has 6 grams of protein, 322 milligrams of potassium, 2 milligrams of iron, 13 milligrams of calcium, and 4 grams of fiber, and only 1.5 grams of fat. So it's total fat, but then under sat fat and trans fat, it's both of those are 0. So I'm not sure about how that figures out, but quinoa is super good for you. Super good for you. Very happy with this. I'm going to put a little bit of my sister's seasoning. So good. Shelly, I need you to refill me when I come visit you in Oregon. I'm almost out. All right, have a great day. This is my meal prep for the week. I'm going to be eating this. I don't have any greens to make a salad, so I'm going to start out with this and then get something else out of the freezer to make later this week. All right, have a great day.